Neuroscience and Critical Thinking. Enhance memory, sharpen decision-making, regulate emotions, and avoid logical fallacies. The Critical Thinker, Book 3, written by Albert Rutherford, narrated by Russell Newton. When considering adopting a dog, even with an open mind towards various breeds, personal biases can influence our research process. For example, while contemplating breeds like corgis, searches might lean towards positive queries such as, "Corgis good with kids," contrasted with potentially negative searches for other breeds. This selective questioning can confirm pre-existing preferences due to an unconscious bias leading to a skewed decision-making process. This phenomenon isn't deliberate, but stems from our brain's wiring, which favors beliefs aligned with our desires, influenced by emotional responses. These emotional responses are often based on past experiences, cultural influences, and societal stereotypes associated with certain breeds. For example, someone who grew up with a friendly and affectionate golden retriever may have a positive bias towards retriever-type breeds and subconsciously seek information that confirms their belief in their suitability as family pets. On the other hand, they may hold preconceived notions about breeds like pit bulls or Rottweilers based on negative media portrayals, leading them to unconsciously search for information that supports their concerns about these breeds' temperament or aggression. This biased research process can prevent individuals from considering a wider range of dog breeds that may be well suited to their lifestyle and preferences, ultimately limiting their options and potentially missing out on the perfect canine companion for their family. Our brains are neurologically wired to base our beliefs on what we want to believe, because these are emotional responses. Emotional responses were useful to people when we had to run away from animals that wanted to eat us, but they can cloud rational thought processes in the modern world. However, if we understand this, we can also work to mitigate the effects of our emotional biases on our brains. The triune brain model. Our brain functions on three primary levels as outlined in the triune brain model by neuroscientist Paul MacLean: the neocortex, human brain; limbic system, primate brain; and the basal ganglia, reptilian brain. This model suggests that our cognitive processes, particularly emotional ones, often operate subconsciously within the brain's older parts, which evolved to help our ancestors make quick survival decisions. For instance, the reptilian brain, responsible for fundamental survival behaviors such as feeding, fleeing, fighting, and reproduction, triggers our instinctual fight, flight, freeze responses to perceived dangers. The reptilian brain is the oldest of our three brains. It's controlled by the basal ganglia, which are at the center of the human brain and are found in every animal, including reptiles and birds. Theorists think that the brains of reptiles and other early evolution stage animals were largely made of this brain area. Therefore, in theory, the basal ganglia were developed first. The basal ganglia control self-preservation behaviors that are necessary to an animal's survival. These behaviors include feeding ourselves. This has been Neuroscience and Critical Thinking. Enhance memory, sharpen decision-making, regulate emotions, and avoid logical fallacies. The Critical Thinker, Book 3, written by Albert Rutherford, narrated by Russell Newton. Copyright 2024 by Albert Rutherford. Production copyright by Albert Rutherford.